Hi everyone, I'm Erin Bassett, and today I'm going to share with you how to use your scan and cut to create this cute little leprechaun catcher box, which could also be used to give out some treats. Okay, so we're going to start off in Scan and Cut Canvas Workspace and go ahead and click on a new project. And then when that opens, you're going to click on that little button that has SVG on it. And that's where you can open up any files that you need. And we are going to open up box number 5 from USB 4, which has so many cute boxes and bags and stuff in it. But we're going to open up that one. And then once you get it open, you just want to select everything on there. And we're just going to make it a tiny bit bigger. I just want to be able to fill up all of my workspace. So I just selected the whole thing. And you can group it if you want to by hitting G on your keyboard or going up to the edit bar and grouping it. So once you get that resized, you're going to go over and click on download. And if you have your Wi-Fi enabled and set up for scan and cut transfer, you can click that and send it over to your scan and cut. Otherwise, you can go ahead and save it onto USB, or if you're plugged in directly to your computer, you could do it that way. So next we want to put our paper onto our mat and insert that into our machine. And I am using the Scan and Cut Design and Cut mat. It's a universal mat, and this is the standard level of stickiness. So you just want to go ahead and put your paper in the middle of your mat inside that border. So I am using the scraper to make sure my green paper is stuck firmly to my mat. And then I'm just going to load it into my machine. Okay, so then I'm going to click on Patterns and click on that retrieving button up in the upper left-hand corner. And then click OK. And if you want to, you can go ahead and cut it out, but if you haven't checked your settings recently, you should probably do a test cut. So go ahead and adjust your blade depth to what you think it could be correct. And then you can click on Add and Test, and click on a shape and set it onto your mat. And then I always like to move my shape down towards the bottom of the mat just so I can check it out easier. And then click OK. And when you're ready, hit cut and start. So it went ahead and paused my cutting so I can evaluate and see that it cut through just my paper, not through my mat. And so I know it's set correctly. So now I can hit start and continue cutting. Okay, so now I can unload my mat and take everything off of it. Okay, so you just want to gently take your paper off of your mat, and then we'll get to folding it. Hopefully you'll be able to see your dash lines on there and just be able to fold them all down. If you can't see them though, you'll probably be able to feel them. And worst case scenario, you can look at your design that was on your Canvas workspace and be able to work off of that. So then you'll just want to fold those down until all of them are creased. Now with this one, the corners are a little bit tricky if you haven't done it before. So I folded all the straight lines first, as you can see that I'm doing here, and then I did the corners last. And that just made it much simpler to be able to do. So you can see that the corners kind of go from both sides right there. So you have to fold each side individually. And when we're gluing it all together, you'll see how it all comes together. So then you just want to do the same thing on the rest of the sides. Okay, so once you're finished, decide where you want to cut out that little 4-leaf clover. And then you're just going to put your whole piece onto your mat, keeping in mind where you're putting your clover. And just smooth it down, and then we'll go ahead and scan that in and add our clover to cut that out. So then you just want to be able to transfer your clover onto your scan and cut. You can do that with Canvas Workspace or USB or whatever method you are used to using. And when you're ready, go ahead and click on Scan. Okay, so there is our clover, and now we can just drag it into position, and you'll probably have to resize it. So you're just going to click on the mat icon and then the size button, and in there you can resize it to whatever you want it to be. Then when you're ready, click OK. And if you need to see it close up to make sure you're getting it in between all those fold lines, you can use that zoom to zoom in. So I'm making my clover to be about 1 inch. I wanted to get it in the center of this little pane right here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we are just going to cut that out. So now that we have our little clover cut out, we're ready to assemble everything. So take your piece, and I'll show you how to work these corners. See how they fold in like that? And then you'll just adhere them together to make that nice sharp edge. So see, just go right together. It's a perfect seam. So go ahead and grab some adhesive. I am using a dry adhesive, a tape runner, to be able to do this, but if you had hot glue or liquid adhesive, that would work as well. So you just want to match up the sides, being really accurate to get that together. And then on the inside, you have this little flap, and I'm going to glue those down after I get all my corners. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on for the other sides. Okay, so now that we got all the outside of the box done, let's get those insides tucked in. And again, I'm just using some little adhesive dots to be able to get those adhered down. Okay, so next let's go ahead and cut out the rainbow. So I took my pieces of paper that I want to use, all the rainbow colors. So I went ahead and put those all out onto my mat after I got them cut out. And then once I loaded them, I went ahead and did the same process of downloading my cut file and then being able to transfer it over to my scan and cut. Okay, so in my case, I'm doing scan, cut, transfer. So I'm retrieving that onto my machine. Now I'm gonna, again, hit that scan button and scan in my whole mat. Okay, so there's all the circles, and now I just need to drag them to the correct little color square. So once you get that all situated, hit OK and cut. And remember to make any adjustments to your blade if you need to. Next, we'll just pop out all those circles, or donuts I guess they are. And you'll need adhesive now to stack them together. And I use that same dry adhesive, the tape runner, to be able to do that. So you just want to make sure that the centers and the outside are matched up as close as possible so that you'll have a nice even spaced rainbow. And then go ahead and finish up with the rest of the rings. Okay, so now that we're finished with that, we are going to mount this on here so it's kind of, the rainbow is taking a bite out of the box. So we just need to cut out a little wedge of the circle. So I'm going to use my paper trimmer for this. And since our circle, our largest circle, is about 4 inches big, and we're going to go to 2 inches and be able to slice just to the center. I'm not cutting all the way across, but just through the center. And you're going to want to use a lot of pressure because you're going through all those pieces of paper. So you can see there is my first cut. So then I'm just going to rotate it. So I want my cut line to be horizontal and then have it lined up again right at that same 2-inch mark and cut through all those layers. Now, if you don't cut through all of them like I do, you'll have to use some scissors to get that cut off. Okay, so now we have our rainbow instead of a rain circle. Okay, so to get this to adhere to the box, since your edges of your rainbow are straight and you know, there's nothing really there to glue down, we're going to make a little flap, and that'll help just secure it to the box. So to do that, I just flipped it over, and on just one edge of my rainbow, so I folded it up about 1/4 of an inch, maybe even less than that. And I'm just going to keep the red layer as the tab, and I'm going to cut off the other layers, and that way it won't be bulky. Okay, so we have that little tab with the red layer, and the rest just stop right there. Okay, so then you can get your placement on there, and you want this little tab piece to be on the lid of the box, so that way you can open and close the box and not have any problems. So once you get that situated, you can do any trimming that you need to make sure your rainbow is nice and flush, and then you can add some adhesive on your tab you created and stick it onto your box. Okay, so once it's on there, we are ready to fill it up. And I put some of those chocolate gold coins, well, I guess they're not all gold, but chocolate coins inside the box, and that'll just entice that leprechaun to get right inside. So next you're going to want to attach your cotton to the top of your box, and I just used a liquid adhesive for that, but hot glue would be a great alternative to that as well. And then once you get your cotton all set, you are ready to go catch a leprechaun, or to give this as a little treat box to your favorite person. For more information about Scan and Cut, go to scanandcut.com. And for more ideas and inspiration, visit erinbassett.com.